and welcome to Ivanti Service Manager working with request offerings. In this module, we're going to talk about the various terms that you'll hear related to request offerings, like service, request offering, service catalog, and so on. We're going to also talk about the benefits of using request offerings. We'll take a look at who benefits from using service requests, aka request offerings. We'll talk about submitting a request offering. And then finally, we're going to build a request offering from start to finish so you can see what's entailed. So let's get started with our terms. Service you see throughout the product, and a service is something that we provide to our customers. So for an incident, incident gets logged, and it's because there's a service that's not working as it should. Well, there's other types of services where nothing's broken, they just want to make a request. So that's what we're going to be working with here. But services, whatever service you have selected, it goes throughout the product. The next thing is request offerings. That's what we're going to build when we go in and create a request offering. We'll decide what somebody might want and then what information we would need to fulfill that request. Those are the kind of things that would go into a request offering. Now, once a request offering is built, it's going to go into the service catalog so your customers can put in a request for that service. And then you'll hear the term service request, and that's a business object that holds, it's got things like the service request number, things like that. So a service request is a business object, and it stores data. So let's get started within the product. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the benefits of using request offerings. I'm going to go in as a customer, so I'm going to change to my self-service user role. Okay, so a customer, rather than calling your service desk, can come in here, go through the service catalog, look for whatever it is that they might want to request, whatever service they might want to request. This is the service catalog. You'll have different categories. Now these are out of the box. You can change these. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up this employee transfer. You'll see here on the catalog you've got the name, you've got the estimated amount of time that it would take, and then a description of what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And when you go in, what you're looking at is you're looking at the request offering that was built for an employee transfer. So you'll have things like required fields. You'll see the asterisks there. There'll be the drop down here, or not. There isn't always a drop down, but there could be. All right, so you can select from the drop down. You can have it auto-fill data. You can have multiple pages. So I can click over here under transfer details. And these are both required. You can see they want to know the department. So we'll just put them in a different department here. And then the effective date. Okay, and I'll just select a date here. And then you can click on the next page over here. You can also go to the bottom here and choose continue. And that'll take you page by page through it as well. Okay, once they've filled out the form with the information that's needed to process an employee transfer, then they can click submit either here or here. Now they'll get prompted with this here. They can view the request that they just submitted. Okay, so here's the information that was submitted. At any time, they can come into the self-service and open up one of the request offerings that they submitted. They can add a note, so they can put information in here, and then they can also submit attachments. All right. Now, once they've submitted that request for service, there's an automated process that takes over. It's running a workflow in the background. What the workflow is going to do is it's going to take information that was submitted and it's going to create tasks for people. It's going to get required approvals, all kinds of things like that. So the idea is that as a service desk analyst, I may not have to ever see or even touch that request that somebody put in. So the customer submitted it, and if I'm a service desk analyst, I can come in and, if I'm a service desk analyst, I can come in and I can look at the requests. So here's that request that I just put in. Okay, so they can take a look, they can see the information that was submitted. They cannot change any of this, it's locked down. Okay, they can see that there were tasks created. They can see the status of those tasks. So by clicking workflow, it's going to open up. You'll see the workflows that are running. This one here says it's waiting. If I click on show instance, it's going to show me the workflow process. Anything in red has taken place. So it started and it created this task, and then it also created this task. All right, so it's waiting on each of these until it meets one of the options that's selected here. So this is saying that once it's completed, go over here to this join block here. All right, I'm just going to close that. I can't change anything. I can look. If I double click on that, I can open up the block there and I can see the details, but I can't make any of those changes. Okay, so I'm going to close the workflow. Okay, and then I'm just going to close this window. All right, so the workflow is going to make sure that this gets processed, and the service desk analyst did not have to do anything. Now, there are times when you can't get your customers to use the self-service role. So if that's the case, they can call your support desk, and your service desk analyst can log requests. So I'm going to click on service request right here. And then over here, I'm going to click on new. And then what you would do is you'd put in a customer's name. Okay, I'm going to select that. Now, once I've put that customer's name in, now I can see the different request offerings that Marcia can select from. So she still has the categories over here, and then there's the different request offerings down here. Now, the request offerings are limited to organizational units. So if I go over here and look at Marcia's employee record, okay, looking at Marcia's, if I scroll down a little bit, on the left-hand side, I'm going to see organizational unit, or OU, and this says sales and marketing. So what you can do with your request offerings in the catalog is you can limit who can request certain things. So it's all tied back to the organizational unit. And you'll see that when we actually build our request offering. Oops. Close that one there. Okay, so benefits of using request offering. All required information gets gathered before submitting the request. Once the request has been submitted, whether it's by a service desk analyst or it's by the customer using self-service or self-service mobile, the process is automated through to the end. Okay. So who benefits from using service requests? Well, the customers benefit because they can come into the service catalog and log something anytime that they want, day or night. Service desk analysts benefit because they don't have to log all of these requests for service. They can, but they don't have to. They also benefit by having the proper tasks already created because they were created when that request offering was built.